We had our first segment of the webinar series yesterday, which was basically the introduction, right? We talked about the platform of the Ministry of Education and how you go about signing up to make your student ID, their login, the resources that they have from infancy to primary school to secondary school, right? So that would have been covered yesterday. We would have recorded that session, so we are hoping to upload those to our Facebook page and to our YouTube page momentarily, right? So for today, we are doing our student virtual guides, right? I know we may have students mixed with parents here, so that is okay, right? The first thing that we wanna deal with is creating the best study space, right? The first step to doing this is finding an area in the home where the child can sit comfortable and focus. We are dealing with children and we are dealing with children who are not accustomed to sitting still in front of a laptop or a computer the entire day and paying attention, right? So we want to make sure that the child is comfortable and that they can focus. All right, so it wouldn't be that they're twisting and shifting and they're just antsy and they're not able to focus on what the teacher is teaching to them, right? Our second thing that we want to touch on is making it separate from the relaxation space. Now here we have ideally away from a TV screen or other distractions. To be very honest with you, other distractions mean preferably like a bed. A lot of us go on class online and we are lying down on our bed and we are feeling like, yeah, I'm paying attention, I'm comfortable here. And then 5 minutes in, you are sleepy, you are drooling on yourself. So parents, please keep this in mind when setting up the space for your children's study space as well. So we don't want them to be falling asleep while the teacher is chatting away and the lessons is going on and they are drooling away in their own la la land, right? Um, for the second slide, this is basically like an addition. The first one is lesson distractions, right? One of the key things to this is trying to imagine or trying to help the child imagine that they are in the classroom setting, which we know could be a bit difficult because classroom setting and in your home is two completely different settings, right? I know for some schools, not all schools make this a requirement per se, but some schools make it a requirement that all students must be in full school uniform in order to attend classes. If they are not in full school uniform, there are consequences to that as well, seeing that the camera be on. And if it is that their child is attending a school that does not require this, but if we feel as though it may help with the child channeling their inner classroom setting and they would be focused, if you feel as though this could be a help, by all means you can do this. I know some parents are also against this as well too, right? Secondly, we have lock your phone away if need to, and do not be afraid to ask your parents. I don't think parents have a hard time of taking away phones because parents know per se that phones are a huge distraction, especially in this day and age of something called social media, right? We every pling, we want to check our phone, we want to see what our friends message us, want to go on YouTube, we want to go on Facebook, Instagram, and you end up spending hours on that phone. So to help with helping the child focus as well too and not being easily distracted, it is a good idea for parents, if it is you feel it is best for them to not be with the phone while it is class time, no problem. All right. Know that some parents or some students, they go to school while on their phone, so they will use their phone instead of using their laptop. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well too, right? Another tip for students as well as for parents, I do urge you to encourage your children to write down or take down notes while class is going on, right? It is very, very important. Sometimes we have to remember that they are not in a face-to-face physical settings where it's easy for them to raise their hand and to say, well, miss, I have a question. It's not like that anymore. So they may feel a bit weird if it is the teacher is teaching and they might want to put on, they might ask a question. They may feel shy as well too. So what it is they can do, and also this can help with whatever notes or whatever important that the teacher is talking about in class. Please urge them to make use of a certain book, a journal, anything of those sorts to make down necessary notes. And in terms of asking certain questions when class time is over, or even they could send it in a chat privately to the teacher, or they could bring it to you, the parents, and say, well, I didn't have it. It had something that I didn't really understand, and I feel I want to clarify this. And they could now show you what they have written down. And if you want, you could message the teacher and ask the teacher, is it possible that you could explain X, Y, and Z over to my child again or to the classroom, and they could resolve that matter then and there. All right. Next is basically a follow-up. Speak up and ask for help. Students, also for parents, this goes for both. It is not a burden. It should not be in pride. Speaking up and asking for help helps us to do a lot of things and understand a lot of things. Tech savvy, and a lot of them not sure of how to go about with helping their child for virtual school. There's nothing wrong with if it is you get contact for a teacher or a fellow parent or somebody that you may know as well that can help you and guide you. And with that being said, you can be there for your child or their guidance, so whoever supervises them, you can show them, well, this is the platform that they need to be on when it is that they're going for school online. This is what they need to do. This is how they need to sign up, etc. So asking for help is not a bad thing, and we should not feel bad for asking for help whatsoever. And for students as well too, it is not a bad thing for students to ask for help. A lot of the times there are cases where children are sitting in class and they are listening and they hear things that they do not understand, but they feel shy or they feel bad if it is that they go to ask a question. A lot of children have this mindset that there's stupid questions, and there are no such things as stupid questions. So parents, I do also urge you to encourage your child, if it is they do not understand something, to make them feel comfortable enough to either go to the teacher or come to you in case they need any help. At the bottom I wrote there, support will always be available as long as we ask for it, and that is so much true. Right, for our last slide, we have make use of the breaks given. You are someone, or your child is someone who's going to be sitting down in front of a computer screen or a phone screen or tablet for majority of the day. They can get restless, they can get tired, right? They can get antsy and a bit irritable as well too. So I know a break is most necessarily needed. However, I know that there are some schools what they're trying to do as well too, how the school curriculum and how the classrooms used to, or how the class settings used to be in school, as though, okay, teaching begins at 8:30, recess or break would be at 10 and it would end at 10:15, so they would get a 50-minute break. I know that some teachers as well, they are trying to implement that same way so it could be familiar to how it used to be face-to-face in school. So when they get that 15-minute break, let them know it is okay. Let them make good use of the break. So let them rest, let them recharge. If it is they need to stretch to wake up themselves, they need to eat a snack, they need to make a cup of tea, anything that helps them to keep going for the rest of the day. It is really, really important, right? So one of the things that I would like to to leave both parents and students with this afternoon is learning from home can be difficult, yes, but it is definitely achievable. We understand that the transition to face-to-face, to online school, to virtual school, it is not the easiest thing. Some people are grasping it a lot easier than others, and some are following slowly but surely. It's a process, and not everyone is going to get that process, but it's not to say that it's impossible and it cannot be done. Hence the reason why we are having these webinar series as well, to try and give the extra help that we can, what we can, right? So I am going to leave here open any question and answer segment. If anyone has anything to say, you guys can. If you want to share anything, it doesn't matter. If it's a question, yes or no, any advice that you want to share, you can use this moment. You can also unmute your mics, or if it is you are feeling a bit shy, you can type within the chat and I would read out what it is you send. Getting a message here from Melissa Meyer. There's a question. Do parents here agree? Oh, this is for the other parents here. Do parents here agree to do virtual every day or otherwise? Hmm.
Um, I'm not a parent, but I had a idea thinking around based around that whether it should be fully virtual or should they go back to school. To me, I say that I had an idea that it should be more of a mixed thing, and that what could be done is that well, those students who is prepping
Could you
for
repeat? It was
exams.
breaking up a little bit.
What is it?
Could you repeat? It was breaking up a little bit, at least on my end.
Oh, um, I was saying that it could have a mix, right? A mix, yeah. And students who are preparing for exams, so like standard fives who are going to do exams, standard fours, and even for form fives and form fours, right? They should get more face-to-face sessions in school because again they are preparing for exams. And honestly, I don't really see it as much of a great need that for students in the lower forms that they need that face-to-face, right? But at the same time, they actually do because the whole school experience, um, the students need it, right? Because with school is this is your especially first primary school children, right? Primary school, the whole school system is the first area where, well, other than the home, is where they learn to grow and the different interactions they need with their pupils and the teachers, right? They need that in part of their life too, right? So they should get that, right? But I wouldn't say how the everyday thing. It shouldn't be an everyday thing that they need, right? So probably 2 days out of the week that they can have face-to-face sessions in school, right? And leave majority of the school week for the students that who are preparing for exams. So like that was one of my something I was thinking about that what the ministry could implement, right? That's
Because I'm
basically.
pretty sure all parents are going to be they may be relieved if at a certain point in time that the children can go back out to school per se. But if it is that we're doing it for forms, okay, let's say forms 4 and 5, and standard 5,
Yeah,
those who
for
are prepping for
preparing
exams,
for exams, they should get.
right? So then it says you think about, okay, infrastructure. You have an entire school
Mm-hmm.
and you need 2 forms or 2 classes out of how many hundreds are going to be utilizing that entire school. So it makes you think about infrastructure as well. So some people would see it as a waste of space, a waste of money, a waste of material. So there are persons who are going to be thinking like that as well too.
To add, I will say you have to think along the lines as well where um, each child learning ability is different. One, two,
Correct.
everybody attention span is different. In particular, you have infant, even those in higher standards, their time, some time spans, their attention span is very short.
Very short,
Right?
yeah.
So these are a lot of the negatives that you have to work around. Thirdly, then you have those who have working parents and they have someone that is taking care of this child children or ward, and that person doesn't have the patience to sit with that child children or ward to even do the virtual um, schooling with them because in the background, as much as they will enforce, a teacher may enforce the rules that this is, what is expected of you as a parent, whatever the case is, what have you. At the end of the day, we have no control over that home. Yes, we can have control over the device from a teacher's point of view to mute or to put in a classroom meeting or whatever to do it. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of factors that is going to hamper virtual if we don't try to treat with it from different angles, different point of views. Because even there are some primary schools I understand that the workload you're talking about for infant standard 1 class, they doing 8 to 9 subjects a day between 3 to 4 hours. I mean, there are parents who may not complain, but then there you have to think about the child. The time the child is finished doing that online, that virtual schooling, they now have to complete assignments in their respective textbooks or even classroom kicks or Google Classroom, what have you. So it's a lot when a day comes. So there are some teachers I understand now they will have addressed the issue by okay, we will have class on Tuesday and Wednesday, Monday, I'm sorry, Tuesday and Tuesday. We will now do Google Classroom, what have you, on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And additionally, you have to send recording videos. You have to send pictures or videos of the child's work in hand, the handwritten work, right? Then you have to keep in mind now in terms of copyright, you can't take pictures of the textbook and send them on no social media platform because of the copyright. So there's a lot to digest. But I just urging parents, at the end of the day, do it for your child. Yes, we have to get accustomed to the new normal, but at the end of the day, it's for them. Think outside the box and find creative ways that will make you comfortable and make your child or children comfortable along the journey. Even commend the teachers. There are some teachers, I must say, they're still a bit laid back, but then there are those who are very much in tune with what they're doing. They're in tune with their class and their parents. And it's all about building communication. And there's something called when we speak about communicating, it's not just about communicating, it's the tone in which we communicate. So there's a lot to work around, but I really hope that we get around this as each day passes, as my contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so very much. I'm glad that you spoke about communication as well, and that was one of the things that I made sure to made mention of asking for help in the presentation that I did before, because as said before, not all parents are tech savvy. Some are having a really difficult time adjusting to face to face, to the shift to online education. There are students as well too. There are even teachers who are finding a really hard time to adjust. And I think that we automatically would think, you know what, teachers are supposed to be accustomed, they're supposed to know how to do this and that, and they are humans too, and there are some of them that are really struggling as well too. So they try their best. They try their best for the students. They try their best also for the parents as well too. So thank you for that light, Miss Myers. That was definitely needed. Anyone else has anything to contribute? Any more questions? Jacqueline wanted to add anything?
No, I'm good there.
Okay. I'm seeing a Miss Vincent here. I'm not too sure if Miss Vincent wants to leave us with anything this afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. One thing I wanted to ask was, my son is having a lot of issues with this virtual learning. His concentration span is really not so good, and I wanted to ask for some suggestions in getting him to focus, especially on his schoolwork.
So one of the things that you will need to take into account is which style of learning is best for your child. So some students are auditory. Some of us learn better from the ears through listening, right? Some of us, we like to write out things. We like to have our hands on things. Some students learn best that way, and some, they learn best through reading, writing, looking at movies, looking at documentaries. So one of the most important things that you will have to do as well too is to take the time and try each category of learning and see which one is best for him or her. Is your son, I believe you said, which one is best for him. And you find little creative ways as well to incorporate that, to make it fun for him, to make sure that his attention span is focused, and also for his memory as well too. So that is something that you could definitely try to do. You can also Google it. There's a lot of, even YouTube as well too, give a lot of resources and a lot of different ways and little projects that you can do at home with your child to help you figure out which learning method is best for them. And once you find the best learning method for them, the one that they respond to the most, and you say yes, they are willing to interact, they are willing to learn, they are willing to read and do more based on that method, you stick to that method because that method is more effective. So I do hope that answers your question. If there's anything, you can also email us and we can go from there.
Okay, thank you. I will take that suggestion and work with it. Thanks a lot.
Right. I think everyone has spoken, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So we're going to look to end this afternoon session. Thank you everyone for coming out and for your participation. Right. Do have a blessed afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.